Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the second AR workshop with Snap Lens Ambassador, a part of Snap AR present India Summer Lensathon. Welcome, everyone. And today is very amazing session. We have our, I will say, expert Jatin Dhamimal. Before that, I will quickly take you through that what is this Lensathon is all about, and it is an amazing opportunity by Snap AR for all the innovators out there, all the I will say developers out there, all the curators out there that they come and they can create the amazing AR experience. And let me quickly just a second. Yeah. So, some are registered already for this session. Some has joined first time. For them, this is an amazing, I will say, initiative by SnapAR, India Summer Lensathon, and the prize is 10.5 lakh rupees. You have to submit your lenses, all about like AR and how to evangelize this lens studio. Apart from this, there are, like I said, prize money is 10.5 lakhs with very interesting initiative is most engaging AR lenses. The most engaging AR lenses, you can get a chance to win 1 lakh rupees every week. For this, you have to submit your lens before 30th April, and the entire leadership board will be starting soon. And keep watching this space. So let's not waste the time. Let's straight away jump to Jatin.
Hi everyone, this is Jatin from Intercept XR.
Hi, Jatin.
I'm an XR and robotics developer. I started my AI journey back in 2020 when Snap had their first AI residency program, and after that, I became a AI lens developer. So I've also been with Snap through their Ghost Fellowship program, and what we do is we merge robotics with the field of augmented reality. So for today's workshop, we have something very fun planned. So what we're doing is we'll be building two amazing lenses. So the first of those lenses is going to be, you have seen this lens on Snapchat before and the other platform before. It's randomizer lens in which you have a couple of things going on top of your head. And when you open your mouth, you perform an action that and like you can it tells you what kind of food you are or what kind of animal you are. So we're going to see how to build a lens like that. And second, we're going to build this or that lens. So we can create amazing experiences in these. So let's just dive straight into it. So first of all, if you have not downloaded Lens Studio yet, you can do so by going to the Lens Studio's website. So you can search for Lens Studio. It will lead directly to this website. Here, if you click on download now button, it will lead you through a prompt, and then you can download Lens Studio. Once you download Lens Studio, the first thing you'll see is a screen like this after you log in. So here you'll have some templates. So you can select beginner level templates, intermediate level templates, or even advanced level templates based on how comfortable you are with like your experience. So let's just dive into creating one of the lenses that I showcased you. So for that, you'll have to click on new project, this blue one. Once you do that, it will lead you to a project like this. So let me just quickly tell you some of the elements that we have here. On your right hand side, you have a preview screen. This is the thing that this acts like an emulator for your phone. So whatever experience you build, you can sort of very quickly see how it will look like on your device through your camera. On the very center, we have this staging area. We call it our scene. So whatever you have in your lens, it come on the staging. On our left hand side on top, we have this thing known as the objects panel. So whatever things you have in your scene, this will be listed in the objects panel. Then down here on the bottom left, you have this thing known as resources. These are where everything that you have in your project will go. So to move something from your project, to move something from your resources to your scene, you'll have to move it from resources to the object panel. So these things will start to make more sense when we actually start building something. So first, for first of our lens, that's this lens, this randomizer lens. First, let's add some face image on top of our head. To do that, if you see this plus icon here underneath the objects, click on this plus icon. Then click on face effects. Here you will see a face image. So a face image is an image that is attached to your face. So when you move your face, the image will also move with your face. And that is what we want. So I've added a face image, and you can see like here we have the image on the center of our face, and here you can see the preview. So if I switch the preview to something that's a little more moving. So now you can see the image is also moving with the head, and we want exactly that. But we want the image to be on the center of the forehead, not center of the face. So what we're going to do is we are going to move this image on the center of our forehead. Perfect. So now that we have that, let's also add some textual prompt. So just click on objects, click on the plus icon. Here in general, you will see something known as a screen text. Screen text is a text that appears on your screen. So if I click on screen text, you will see that it added some new elements to your objects panel. So we added a orthographic camera. Orthographic camera is nothing more than your 2D camera. It's a fancy name for a 2D camera. So in orthographic camera, you see this full frame region. So this full frame region defines like what area your text or what area your elements in the uh, frame can cover. As a rule of thumb, what I like to do is I like to switch it to the safe render region. So this way, when you actually publish your lens, it does not interfere with these buttons down here or anything up here. So it makes your lens look cleaner. So now I'll click on text, and I'll just quickly adjust where I want my text to be. So let me also change the color of the text to black, and let me also add some background color to it by enabling the background and specifying some color. So let's say a little yellow. I'll also add some margin to it so it looks much cleaner. So some positive margin on all sides. Perfect. And let me also add some outline to the text so it looks a little bolder. So this time I think we can build a what kind of food you are lens. So let me just quickly type that. What food are you? Perfect. So now I think we have everything we need for the physical aspects of the lens ready. Now we can start importing some images. So the way I like to find 2D assets, or the way I like to create 2D assets, is through Canva. So Canva is a great 2D tool where you can a great platform. You can find lots of images, and you can also create sort of edit like things, create your own images, create your own 2D assets. So right now I had clicked on elements and I had searched for traditional Indian food, and I have added some images. So adding images is as easy as clicking on the image and then just adjusting it inside the frame. Perfect. And then to download the image, all you do is you click on share and you click on download. So one thing to remember is if your image has a transparent background, if you want your image to have a transparent background, you will need to enable this, and you need to make sure that the type is set as PNG, or else the background will look white but it will not be white. So once you click on download, it will download your images. So I've done that. So let me just quickly import from my folder. So I've downloaded 3 images. I'm going to select, and you can either like just drag and drop them to your resources, or plus icon to import file, and then like just select the files you want to import. So I imported my 3 images. Apart from that, there's one more thing that we need, and that is a script to actually tell the lens what to do. So I have already prepared a script. We'll go through the script line by line to actually help you understand what the script is doing. And after the workshop, we'll also share that with you. But for now, let me just import the script. So it's the same way for the script. You can just drag the script into your folder, and it will be imported. The way I add a script to my projects is I like to create a new scene object and move it to the very top. So that way I know that when the starts, the first thing it encounters is the script, and the first thing that runs is my script. So let me just quickly rename it to scripts. So I've added an empty scene object and have called it scripts. To add my script to this to this object, all I need to do is just drag this and drop it into the inspector panel. You can also add the script by clicking on this add component button and then like searching for scripts here. And once you click on scripts, you can just click add scripts and then add it. So the either of these ways will work. So for now, I've added it by dragging and dropping because that's the easy way and that's the way I like it. So we need to set a couple of things in the script. So you see this sprite thing. So this sprite is nothing more than the image that top of our head. So I'll just quickly click on this and I'll select the head image from here. Perfect. And now let's add some texture values. So if you see this add value button, I have three images, so I'll add three of these. So now you see three empty like placeholders. So let me just quickly add the elements to these placeholders. And you see like now we have some randomized thing going on top of our head. So before we test out a lens, let me just quickly tell you how the script is working. So right here on the very top, we have something known as, so we have some inputs. So the inputs are the things that you pass onto a script. So if you remember here, we have added two things. We have added textures and we have added the sprite image. We have added the tag image. So to find out what kind of a object like to find out what kind of object something is, you can very easily go to Google and search for, so for example, if I want to add an image, I can just search for image space lens studio. It will directly lead you to the lens studio's document API, and there everything is defined in a very proper way. And so yeah, here we have added our image and here we have added some textures. So apart from that, we have something known as events in Lens Studio. So an event is something that triggers something. For example, every time there is a new frame, there's something known as the update event that is triggered. Or for example, every time, so for example, when you open your mouth, there is something known as the mouth open event. To find all the events that are supported in Lens Studio, that is supported in Snap, you can again go to the documentation API. And I think the link will be provided in the comment section or in the description for that, for the docs API, from where you can find the list of all the events and from where you can find basically the whole scripting API. So what I have done here is I have described two events. One is my update event, this part, and one is my mouth open event. So what we're doing here is on whenever there's a new update, whenever there's a new frame, on every frame, I have created a function that checks if my count is equal to zero or not. If it is zero, then what I'm doing is I'm incrementing the index of the, so we have created an array here of textures. So if my count is zero, I'm incrementing the count of the array and I'm setting that particular image to the texture of this image on top of my head. So that's why you see this moving so fast. And then I have this mouth open event. So I have used a very clever hack here. Instead of doing something fancy, what I've done is I've created a count. So whenever our mouth, it increment the count, and then like this flag will get to zero. This flag will not be equal to zero, and it will stop our like random thing. So if I switch it from a smiling person to, let's say, some mouth open. So now you see as soon as she opens her mouth, the image stops moving. So let me just reset the lens. So as soon as she opens her mouth, you will see the image will stop moving. So this is how you can create a randomizer lens in Lens Studio very easily. You can use this according to the theme to create many more experiences, such as what kind of traditional maybe dress you are, or food you are, or what kind of things you like. So now let's just quickly get into how you publish your lens and how you need to publish your lens for this lensathon. So first of all, you see this thing known as project information. This is the place where you define everything about your lens. So first of all, let's give our name some good. Let's give our lens some good name. So let's just call it traditional food. Uh, which traditional food? Cool. So here you can see how big your lens is. And so here you can also select if you want your lens to be used on only the front camera or the rear camera. I want it to be used on both of the cameras and just enable both of these. Here you can set a hint for your lens. So hints are something that allows other people to know what you're supposed to do in your lens. So I'm going to set the hint as now in your mouth. so that my users know that they need to open their mouth for something to happen. So I'll just do that. And here we have something as a lens preview. So if you have used Snapchat, when you are searching for a lens, you see this little previews of the lenses. So if I click here, it will generate some previews for me, and I can select a preview from that to be showcased on my lens. So it takes a couple of seconds to do that. In the meanwhile, let's just quickly head to Canva and create a good icon for our lens. So I'm adding a new page, and let me just click on text, and let's just add a heading, which to are. We can also use some of the like preset text things here. So I'm just going to use sorry, I'm just going to use something very simple. Just going to write it simply, and maybe add some element on top of it, or let's say I will add some background on top of it. Background. So I've added background image here, and let me just make it a little transparent. Perfect. And let me just change the color of the text white. Cool. Maybe not so transparent. Perfect. And I'll just download it. So here you can also switch specific page you want to download. So I'm just going to download page number 5. Perfect. One thing you can make sure is when you are creating an icon for your lens, you can make sure that it's a square icon so that it fits here. Here I just created a rectangular icon and I'll just crop it according to my needs. Either of those ways, whatever works for you. So it is taking a couple of seconds to download. In the meanwhile, let's check if we are done with the preview. So now you can see we have a couple of previews here. So I'm just going to select this. Let's see. Smile preview. I like this one. So once I click on that, it will take a couple of seconds to set the preview officially. Uh, in the meanwhile, let's see if yeah, it has set the preview. Now I click on apply, and let's just see if our icon is downloaded yet or not. So we have our icon downloaded. Just quickly move it to our assets folder. That way we can keep everything neat and clear. Perfect. Now let me just quickly set that to the icon. So I'm going to my folder, and here it is. So this looks good. So if you can see this circular thing, this is the thing. This is the, if you see this icon down here underneath the lens, this is the lens icon that you see when you are opening a lens. So I'm just going to click on apply. Click on apply once more. Now my lens is ready to be published. It's generally a good idea to save your lenses from time to time so that you don't lose your work. So I'm just going to come here and say traditional food lens. Perfect. So now just let's give it a couple of seconds to save the lens. After that, we are going to the lens, and I'm going to walk you through how you can submit your lens for the Lensathon. So to publish your lens, all you need to do is click on this publish lens icon. So once you, it will take a couple of seconds to upload your lens and to like sort of export your lens. Once it is done, it will open a new browser window for you, like it for me. So let's just give it a couple of seconds to load. In the meanwhile, you might want to register yourself on the Hack to platform for the Snap India India Summer Lensathon. So you have only 16 days remaining for making your submissions. So please register yourself and create something good. So now I'm just going to select a lens folder. Perfect. So I'm clicking on submit lens icon, submit lens button. It will ask me what visibility I want the lens to be, what primary category I want the lens to be in. Select the primary category as let's say let's say go yeah, I'm going to select, that seems like a good category. I'm bad with selecting categories, you might be better at that. One thing you need to note is you need to set some tags for the Snap team and for the Hack to Skill team to find your lens. So the tag you need to add for this hackathon is this. So I'm just going to copy it. I think we'll put it down in the comments as well as the description. So it is IN Lensathon 2023. So if you have this tag on your lens, it will be very easy for the Snap team as well as the Hack to Skill team to find like which lenses you have submitted. So I'm just going to add that, and let me add some more tags. It's generally a good idea to add a couple of tags to your lens. It usually helps people to search for a lens better. So I'm going to add food. I'm going to add India. Let me also add traditional. Perfect. After that, you can click on submit lens icon. It will take a couple of seconds to submit it. Perfect. And now we are done. So that is how you can create a lens, and that is how you can submit a lens very easily. So that was our randomizer lens. Now let's move on to lens. That is basically our this or that lens. So for this lens, the workflow will be very similar. So first, let me first just very quickly clear everything from my scene uh, and delete the things that I had created. Perfect. So for you, when you create a new project, this is exactly what you will see. Cool. So now, if one thing I like to do when I'm creating my experiences is first I like to create all the visual elements and then I like to attach it to the scripts. So we are going to do the same here. So if you look at the visual elements, so what do we have here? So we have some like a tick mark and a cross mark. We have some image on top of our head, some text here. And if you look at the very end, we have some like image here that says the results. And we have our scorecard here that tells me what score we have. So let's just very quickly create some of our UI elements. So first of all, let me just create a image like the way we did back there, back in the previous lens. So I'm adding a face image. I'm again moving it to the top of my forehead. Perfect. What else? So we need, if you remember, we need two things here, one tick mark and one cross mark. So to add that, I'm going to add two screen images. So I'm just going to go to this plus icon in objects panel and I'm going to click on screen image. Perfect. I'm again going to go to full frame region. I'm going to set to safe render region. I like it because it gives me some sense of security that okay, nothing will be covered by the on-screen UI. Let me also make it a little smaller and put it right here. One way to duplicate things is you can just click on them and click on duplicate. So I'm making a copy of it and I'm just moving it right across. Perfect. Now, if you remember, we also need some text on the bottom, like that told that was our prompt. So, so let's add a screen text for that. So to add a text, just click on objects, click on plus, and click on screen text. Perfect. Let me move the text a little low, and let me just set the boundaries a little. Perfect. And let me also change the color to black, give it some background, some outline. And let me change the background color to yellow again. I like yellow. Let me set some margins. So I'll give it a zero point 0.3 margin on each side. So the text looks a little cleaner. And this time I'm also going to give it a corner radius. So it looks like those one fancy circular boxes. Uh, so now that we have this thing ready, let's also quickly create our end screen, the screen where you have just one scorecard and one result thing. So what I like to do for my lenses is I like to create different things in different frame regions. So that way it is much easier for me to like much easier for me to debug my lenses, and everything is little more organized. So let me just quickly click on the plus icon and add another screen image. So this time, like when I add a screen image, it got added in a different frame region, and that is exactly what I wanted. So I'm going to set it to save frame region once, render region once again. Let me just lower the image. Perfect. And let me also add some text to this one. That will be our final scorecard text. Perfect. I'll move the scorecard text to here. Put in some placeholder text. Let's just say score for now. We'll change later. Let's also give it some color, some outline, some background. You can mess with these settings and figure out which color you like or what, like how you like it to appear. So I'm just going to give it some margins on sides. Perfect. And some corner radius as well. Perfect. Now we're good to go with all our UI elements. And now it's time for us to import some of our assets. So for this lens, I also use Canva to create our assets. So I just went on Canva and searched for tea, uh, and for things like spicy food, yoga, and series. So I'm sorry if I make anyone hungry by showing you all these pictures of food. Perfect. So I already have the images downloaded on my system. So I'm just going to select these. I'm also going to select this no icon and this yes icon. Also got this from Canva. I'm going to select this results icon as well. So let me just quickly select them and drop them in my resources. Perfect. We have all the assets we needed here. So let's just quickly see how the head image looks. So I'm going to set one of the image to my head image. Perfect. Looks good. Now let's see now let's just set all the UI elements. So I'm just going to enable this. Right now it's a little messy, so let's just enable them one by one. So let's just first set the no icon. This is the no icon. To setting the images, you need to drag and drop to the texture part of your image. Perfect. Texture is basically what you see. So if you ever need to set an image, just like change the texture. Let's set it for the yes. Perfect. Now it's looking a little better. And let's just enable the end screen and set this last image, the results image as well. So I'm going to click on this thing. That was a placeholder for a result image. And I'm going to set it to results. Perfect. Oh, it looks a little small. Make it a little bigger. Stretch this. Cool. So now we have everything ready. Let's import our script and start scripting. So don't worry if it looks a little messy right now. Once we start our scripting, it will all become very clear. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to import the script. Again, this script will be provided to you. So you can mess with this. You can like change things on your own, and you can create your own experiences with it. So I'm just going to add a screen object here. Again, I'm going to move it to top. It's generally a good idea to move your scripts to the very top so that they are the first thing surrounded by your lens and they get priority in execution. So I'm going to write scripts and I'm going to just drag and drop it into my inspector panel. Perfect. Now, if we see here, we have a lot of things that we have to set. So before let me this time I'll walk you first to tell you what thing is what. So here we have a couple of things. So here we have a list of questions. So these are the questions that will be given to you as prompt. So let me just quickly change them to do you like tea? And maybe our second image was let's see. So second image was of spicy food. So I'm let's just say, uh, can you handle spicy food? After that, what do we have here? We have yoga. So let's say, do you like yoga? Oh, I forgot to write it here. Sorry. And we had one last image, and that is jalebis. Uh, are jalebis your go-to snack? Perfect. Perfect. So let me just quickly tell you what the script is doing and how it is working. So if you see this person here, she has her head right. So what we want to do is when you tilt your head to the right or to the left, we want to figure out if you're tilting to the left or the right. So for that, what we need is we need a reference to the head. So this thing on top here is that reference to our head. It basically tells us what part our head is. Uh, then we have some threshold here. So currently I've set the threshold to 0.2. You can make the threshold value. So if you set it to a very high threshold, you'll have to move your head very far to for it to trigger. And if you set it to a very low value, you'll have to tilt your head just a little. Perfect. After that, we have an array of images. These are basically the images that we have just downloaded. The images that will come on top of our head one by one. Then we have the card. This card is basically the end card, like result card you saw there. Then we have this questions text prompt. So this is basically this text, like this text you saw. This is basically the questions prompt, where our questions are supposed to go. This core text prompt is component is basically where our score will be taken to. So this thing, if you remember, let me just enable it. Yeah. So this is a score text component. Perfect. After that, we have two things. These are our game objects. So these are scene objects. So I divide them into two parts. One is game over screen, and one is game screen. So in this way, when like the lens is working, when the lens is when you're selecting this, I can have this part open, and when the things end, I can quickly switch over to this part. So to make that switch, I need reference to both of them. So these are the references that my script will be using. And lastly, we have a face reference. So the only thing the face reference is doing is when the whole thing will end, it will also disable this image on top of your head, so it looks a little cleaner. Perfect. Now let me just tell you how the script is actually taking the angle and actually figuring out where to move. So first of all, what we are doing is we are setting an index. So this index is basically working for our images as for our questions. So it's basically index over the questions or the index over the images that we have. So after that, we have this head transform here. So transform is basically your position. So what we are doing is we are taking our head, we are figuring out which scene object is attached to it, and we're getting the transform of that. So we are basically getting the orientation position of that thing. So after that, we have defined three states. So one is a neutral state, that is when your head is straight. One is a left state, and one is a right state. So after that, we are setting the current state to none. So one thing I would like to mention is, even if you're not good with scripting, or even if you have not ever like written code yourself, you don't need to worry about it. So when we'll share the scripts, so you can actually just import the script in your project and just set things. You don't need to even change a single line. Just change the questions, just put your own images, and you'll be good to go. And if you do know how to script, or if you do know how to write your own code, you can actually make changes to it and customize it according to your own needs. Apart from that, there is very good documentation available on Lens Studio's website. The links for that will be shared in the comments or in the description after the workshop. So yeah, so next we have defined that we are going to use. So I have four images, so correspondingly I wrote four questions. Then if you remember, we had the update event back in our previous also. So the update event runs on every time the frame is updated. So what we're doing here is we have defined a function, and every time our frame is updated, first we are checking if there's only one head or not. Then what we are doing is we are figuring out how much tilt the head has. So if it has if it has a left tilt, we are calling a function called on left. If it has a right tilt, we're calling a function called on right. And if it has no tilt, we are just neutral and doing nothing. We're just setting the state none. All right. And if by chance at some time you move your head, or like if sometime you can't see your head, it will automatically call the on loss function and set the state back to none. So now if we look at on right and on left functions, so both the on right and on left functions look pretty similar with one little change. So on left function, what it is doing is it's just printing left, and it's just changing the image. On right function is also doing the same, it's just changing the image, but it is also incrementing the score, because this was a positive thing, right? When you move your right, it will increment something. So that is just going to increment your score. Perfect. And then we have head loss function. It's nothing apart from the printing head loss. Using functions is a great way to make things clearer for yourself in your scripts. and I like that, and you might as well. So now let's just move to the change image function. So in the change image function, all we're doing is we're checking so if you say this if condition here, what we're basically doing is we are checking if we are on the last image or not. So if we are on the last image, if we are on the last question, as soon as you answer that question, it will take you to the end screen. And to see that, you can see here like we have game over scene. So as soon as we clear the last, what it will do is it will set the game over screen to true, the game screen to false, and the face enable to false. So this will clear the game scene. This will also clear this image on top of your face and will like display your score. So it will set the score to you have scored this much. So out of 10, let's say out of 4 because we have 4 things. Perfect. And if not, if like you are currently in the game and you're not on the last image, it basically incrementing the index and just setting the next image and the next question. So I hope that is clear. If not, we'll share the scripts. You can mess around with it. You can have fun with it. So let me just go over to the script and start setting things. So first of all, let me set the head. So one way to set the head is just dragging and dropping here. Another way is to just click here and it will show you what elements you can like set it to. So we have only one element. So I'm just going to click OK. Threshold, I like to keep it at 0.2. You can mix the values based on your needs. Then for the card, I'm going to like set the card. Perfect. I'm going to set the questions prompt. So to make things simpler, like this was the questions prompt, this question prompt. So I'm going to just drag it and drop it here. Same thing I'm going to do for the like for our end screen for a score prompt. Perfect. Then for game over scene, I'm going to select this full frame region and I'm going to drag and drop it to a game over scene. Perfect. And this full frame region, I'm going to set it to our game scene. One good practice that I'm not following right now and that you should definitely follow is just renaming things. So I should probably rename it to game over scene. It makes your projects a little cleaner. And I should rename it to game scene. Perfect. All right, and now we need one last thing, and that is a reference to our face. So I'm going to select this, and I'm going to select this, and done. So also let's just quickly change the first question to this. So what I'm doing is instead of just having text here, I'm setting is it the same as the first question. You can also do it from the script if you want, but this is the easier way. I like to do it this way. So now let's just test our lens. Uh, Normally we have to have something that in which the head was moving right to left. But since we don't have that, I've already created a preview image, a preview video. So let's see. We encountered an error. Let's just quickly see what error we have here. Let me move to some normal preview first. So this is a great place. This logger you see down here is a great place to figure out what errors you're running into. So it's telling me that I have missed some values, I have missed some arguments in my script. So let's just click on my script and see. Oh, so if you notice that I have not set the images yet. So let me just quickly add the 4 images that I had downloaded. So this logger is a very useful tool to help you debug your lenses, to help you understand what is going wrong in your lenses. So and it is very easy to also read this. So basically, like if you read this, it's saying that something happened in the change image function that was called from on left, that was called from on update. So experiment with your scripts, experiment with lenses, and keep an eye on the logger because it will tell you where your errors are. So let me just quickly set the images. Image 1, image 2, a third image, and a fourth image. Now let's try to test the lens once again. Perfect. Can you do spicy food? Yes. Do you like yoga? Not so much. Jalebis go to snack? Yes. Perfect. So that was our lens. To submit this second lens also, you need to follow the same procedure. Just basically, so since I did not like clear the project, I just went and edited the same project. same thing, but you can quickly give yourself lens a good name, give a good hint, probably give it something like move it side to side, something like that. Give it a good preview image, and then you can submit it. And make sure while you're submitting your lens, you have that I and Lensathon 2023 tag there. You don't need to put a hashtag there, just put I and Lensathon 2023, and you'll be good to go. So now we are open for comments and we'll be answering the questions.
Hi, everyone. There is a resolution, some issue. Do you want to do it again, participants? Or we can start with some questions. Most of the questions we keep on try to answer in the comment itself. Like Lakshay is helping out. Few comments from Hack to Skill. Now
So I
this
say this
is the
one comment. Yeah, I said
yeah.
like what are the tips and tricks you can use to keep your lens sizes under 2 MB while including scripts in a lens. So the thing is, your scripts are actually very small in size. They are like literally some KBs. Where your lens size goes up is when you have complex like assets like images or you have videos. So one thing I like to do is like Lens Studio already has this built-in feature. When you're in resources, you can click on that image and it will automatically like compress it, the image for you. Sometimes it will also ask you like when you're opening a new page, it also ask you that some assets have not been like what do you call that compressed. You like to compress them. So you can use that Lens Studio's built-in feature or use an online tool to compress your images to a point like where they don't look bad, but they also like work for your lens.
Yeah. Any other question?
Can we use a snap template to begin designing the lens? Yes, absolutely. And that's why the templates are there. So like you can use a template, you can like add your own things on top of it. So whatever you have, you can find a template similar to that idea. What you can also do is you can mix and match templates. So there's this very cool feature in Lens Studio that allows you to export things from one template to the other template, or even from one project to the other project. So when you create a project, you can right click on things in objects panel and import them as like you can import them and you can just drag and drop them into the new project. So that way you can also mix and match templates, work with different templates and give it your own like twist.
So, Jatin, with the previous question, why can't you quickly show your screen? Because it's very important. We have given one of the condition that
Right,
your
perfect.
lens should be in 2 MB, uh, smaller than 2 MB. So it's very important and very crucial question. Can you share the screen and quickly show how this to be done? So it will be very helpful for all the participants.
Perfect. Just give me a second.
Yeah,
So can you put
yeah, it's
perfect. So
to save the
see
bandwidth,
like I
Jatin, you can like try turning off your webcam. I think it will
all
help.
right. All right. I think it should be a little better now. Uh, yeah.
Yes, I'll do it.
So you see when I imported the images, like so these are the images that I imported. So when I click on the image on the in the inspector, it tells you like what type it is, what the resolution is, what its original size was, the RAM usage, and all that. Here you see some compression settings. So right now it set to performance, and since it is set to performance, you see the size that was originally 1.18 MB has been cut down to like some 333 KBs. You can also change it to size, and if you try to optimize it for the size, so right now it is taking some time. It usually a couple of seconds. So yeah. So now you see the thing that was originally 1 MB has now been compressed to just some 200 kbs. You can even set the quality to low, and it will compress it even further. So in that way, like whatever objects, so it's now only 204 like kbs instead of 1 MB. So that's like 6 times or 5 times like downgrade from the original size, affecting the quality. So if you look at here, like the image still looks as if the real texture. And yeah, that's basically how you can compress your assets. For scripts, I don't think you need to worry because scripts are usually like some couple of kbs, not more than that. So you're cool with scripts. Make sure your images, your videos, your GIFs, all those things are compressed and you're good to go.
Yeah, Jatin. And adding on to that, participants can quickly play around that if there are different kind of assets, which assets they want to slightly higher the quantity, like quality of the image, while maintaining that 2 MB limit. So also, Jatin, if we can go with how we can get the lens IDs and all after submitting everything.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So once you submit the lens, let me just quickly change it. So after you submit a lens, once just give me 1 second to
Yeah.
quickly open my screen. Yeah. So when you get the lens, you are introduced with this screen. Uh, so you can just go to My Lenses button, or if you don't have that screen, if you're in Lens Studio, I think you can go to My Lenses from here. You have this go to My Lenses button. So once you go to My Lenses, it will open a new browser window for you where you will see all of your lenses. So just give it a couple of seconds to load. Perfect. So if you see this is the top, which is the lens that we had just published. So if you click on that lens, here you can see we have your lens ID. So you can like just click on the copy button and your lens ID will be copied. And here you also have your snap code. You can download your snap code, share it with your friends. You have your share lens button, so you can directly like just share the link for your lens.
Jatin,
So yes, here you can see like
you can zoom out your screen and it will give more clear visibility, I guess.
perfect, perfect. So yeah, it should be more visible now. So here you can see we have our lens ID. Here, right underneath the lens, we have our lens ID. So you can just click on this copy, and if you copy it to your clipboard, so you can use this to like you can paste this formatting your lens. Apart from that, if you move down, you have this snap code. So you can download your snap code from here, share it with your friends, put it on your, like put it on Instagram or Snapchat. You also have the share lens button on your top right. So once you click on the share lens button, it will copy the lens link to your clipboard. So you can share that lens link also. And here you can verify that the tags you have put are correct or not. If you have put the IN lens on 2023 tag here or not.
Yeah, this tag is very important. IN Lensathon
Right.
20.
Please make sure that you have this tag.
You can zoom out a little bit more, and I think back to normal screen will also work.
Perfect.
Any other question to you? So, the question, I don't have a coding background, but have good designing skills. Can I still participate in the Lensathon? Yes, you can still participate in the Lensathon. There are two ways. Like a coding is also not required 100%, but you can also try a little bit about the coding stuffs and all. Apart from this, you can also team up with someone who knows about a coding. Just a suggestion from my side, you can also team up uh, and come with various more good and advanced lenses for this lensathon. And if you're team up, I think it will edge over while participating in that most engagement lens. Because if you are a team up, so with a team effort to share your lenses will give you edge. So just a suggestion, or I will say tip. Any other question, so we can quickly wrap up this on time? Yeah. Now this is a Indian theme, or we submit any advanced lenses. I think theme is pretty. We have mentioned on the Lensathon page, and then you can pick that theme. It will help you to be a part of this particular Lensathon. So you can and if I'm and please correct us if and you want to add something, Jatin. Uh, or can we submit any advanced lenses? So you can submit like this is the advanced lenses only you have to submit. The quality is always matter. If it's related to the theme, it will be really great.
One thing that I like to do is, even if I have an advanced lens that's not fitting the theme, you can always sort of like find workaround. So you can always find something that sort of matches the theme and then submit that.
So I think we are right on the time. Any more questions? Okay, so I think we are right on the time. So more detailing about how to submit these lenses on Hack to Skill portal, more about how to submit this a very basic things, and some tips and tricks will be on the next session, next boot camp on 17th. Try to join that particular boot camp. That boot camp is more about the overview, what happened with the both of the workshop. Apart from this, there are tips and tricks to get the best out of from this lensathon, and also particular most engaging lenses as well. Any other thing, Jatin, you want to add? We are just closing. I think we are right on time, and then we can close this session, and it will be very quick for all the participants and all. Last time we had a like 2 hour session. This time we are so they can also think that it's very easy, and using this randomizers and particular quizzes thing. So anything you want to add while we are closing this session, Jatin?
Right, we'll be sharing the scripts with you after this, after this workshop. You'll have access to those scripts. Just try to figure out what works for you. And I have seen people sometimes struggling with ideas for lenses. Sometimes people figure out, oh, what should I make? How should I make it? If you're struggling with what should I make, just try to be yourself. Try to like express yourself. AR usually works like better if you try to express what you are feeling that way. Have fun with the Lensathon. It was great having you as our audience.
Okay, then. Uh, so we will be signing off for this session. The next Snap Lens Ambassadors session, the AR workshop will be on 19th, and then a boot camp. Before that, it's a boot camp on 17th. So remember, keep watching the Lensathon page. You will get those detailings and all. Keep checking the dashboard, and you will get all the details for the lenses for the Lensathon and on the particular portal itself. Thank you, and we are like signing off now.